There's some days where it's owning something and knowing that you have to make it work. That's the drive some mornings. It's also the disappointment some mornings. Disappointment might be the wrong word, but maybe it's not. The aggravation some mornings. But then I just remind myself, this is awesome. And what we get to share with the world, the community, the customers, the friends, even just with ourselves is awesome in the morning. I try not to have a thought process as much anymore. But then there's mornings where the new releases are coming out. And that's just, there's nothing but stoke to get in there and to get them all lined up. So when people come in, they just see the wall of the new stuff and they're grabbing. It's cool. It's awesome. I've always been too shy or too nervous to stand in the front of the door. So I would wait in my car, slink down real low so nobody could see me so I don't look like a psychopath. And then as soon as I saw the door open, I was there, and then all that nervousness and the anticipation goes away because now you're in it. So when I see anybody standing outside in the morning, I'm like, I know, I feel it, I get it, and it's awesome. And the only thing I want to do is be able to offer something that when they walk in, there's no disappointment. All that anticipation they had from the night before, or hiding in their car, or just standing there not giving a fuck. To be able to walk in and there's a lot, and if you don't know what you're walking into, you will be taken aback. Oh, what the heck? Do you need help? No, I got it. No, you don't. If you've never been here before, you don't. And it's great. I wake up, I talk to the cat, Bruce Leroy, and we decide, is he gonna eat first? Am I getting a cup of coffee first? Am I putting a record on first, or am I peeing first? That's usually the decision that we have to make. He helps me make it. Depends on his vocalness that morning. Man, sometimes you wake up and you say, I gotta have this. If you've fallen asleep and you say, oh, I think I wanna hear, and I'm gonna pull it and put it aside, and I forget. So I wake up in the morning, I'm like, man, what did I wanna listen to last night? And I forget, so sometimes it's a hassle. But it's usually most of the time a record that I pick. Sometimes I do it at random, or sometimes it's just you know what you wanna hear to get your day going. Hi, I'm Anthony, and I own a record store, and I do other things.
What's this record store?
Sound Exchange.
How long have you owned Sound?
3 years. Anybody who calls this record glam rock, fuck you. This is rock and roll.
My name is Stephanie Kelly. I am a Starbucks store manager, but I also own Sound Exchange in Wayne, New Jersey.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you met Stephanie? How you guys
Starbucks. We were both Starbucks managers.
Really?
Yeah, pretty wild.
I don't think we liked each other. No, we did not. I like everybody, but Stephanie kind of threw off this vibe, like I don't know. I 100% did not feel welcomed by her. And look at us now.
Yeah.
It just, there was no building, it was just natural.
We just started like bullshitting one day, and it was just...
It's pretty, yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
There's just energy, and our energy just clicks. You don't think you find good friends later on in life, and you do. And we did, and it's awesome.
I used to collect advertising toys. I'll show you my most favorite piece. Oh, don't stay on the bottle. It's the Dean Martin Jerry Lewis puppet.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
My name's Art Morgan. I grew up in Oakland, New Jersey. Started out as a dishwasher at a restaurant. Worked my way up to salad man, dessert man, grill man. They taught me how to work the line and cook steaks and fish, and I did that for years. My mother died when I was 18 months old, so I never had a mother. My father wasn't really the greatest father. He married an alcoholic 3 months after my mother died. That was about it. A family with 5 kids. The older ones went that way, the younger ones went that way. And I had an aunt who was really cool and took me out of there and took me anywhere I wanted to go, and Sterling Forest, or Bear Mountain, or zoo, and I stayed down there whenever I possibly could, because it was a lot more fun than being home.
I think my first musical memories are from when my mom was, playing the CBS FM and the Supremes, the 50s, the 60s. We would go to my aunt's and they always had record players, and we'd, listen to music there. My
first thing was when I was in the 5 and 10 in the town, and they had the Beatles album Help on display, and I wanted it. So I dragged my grandmother in and made her buy it for me. And that was the beginning of all this.
There was always music on. My father always had music on, my mother always had music on, my grandparents always had music on.
My youngest brother, Phil, took a close knit to Anthony and my daughter, Nikki, and he was a big role model to Anthony with music.
He offered the gateway drug to music, because he had everything and he liked everything, and he wasn't pigeonholed in genres. He just liked sound.
Yeah, we were together a lot. He and I spent a lot of time together, and his sister also. So when they were young, and I was young. I was 15, 16, 17, so.
My Uncle Phil growing up was always the cool uncle. We wanted to be like him, whatever he was doing, whatever he was listening to. I know I picked up my love of hockey from him. And all of our friends loved Uncle Phil. He was just, he was just the cool uncle.
Wasn't uncle and nephew, really. It was just like, I don't know, like pals or whatever. That's how I remember it.
That was awesome. So I could always go to him with a reference or with give me something new, or he's always playing something new, and what the fuck is that?
There was a lot of Metallica, there was a lot of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. A lot of it was diverse.
And it's funny because at the time it was the music that I didn't like. My mother always tell me, turn it down! How could you listen to that stuff? So I tried not to say it so much. I did yell a lot about turning it down. But he played a major role in their lives, and I'm forever grateful to him for that.
Well, my sister had a Beatle album that I used to sneak in and listen to, and she kind of started it. She was the only one who was into it. My other brothers were fishermen. They could care less about music.
My parents were young, and they were still finding their way and trying to map out their shit. My parents were never married, so they weren't together. I was blessed to have Billy, my stepfather. I hate that fucking term, stepfather. My other father, my father, my other, whatever, however you want to phrase it. I got 2 dads, it's fucking cool. My uncle gifted me all of his records and 8-tracks because he bought a CD player. When I was just in my single digits, I had tons and tons of music from decades old. I just knew that I had these records and these 8-track tapes, and I got to play music, all kinds of music, all the time. When I started buying music obsessively, excessively, I fucking hated it, my parents.
He had his own room. And it was wall to wall.
Yeah.
Literally. It wrapped that wall, this wall, this wall. And that's all that was in that room.
You don't get home and say, shit, I spent too much money on these. You get home and say, fuck. I spent $500, $100, $50, and all you can think, you don't care about the money, because all you can think about is, why didn't I get that record that I should have picked up?
He was always buying shelves to fit the records in.
He eventually just eclipsed me very quickly, very quickly. His taste in music is very diverse. I mean, he can listen to almost anything that comes out, anything. Anthony, he's got an open ear. He's not 1-tracked or even 2-tracked. He's thousands of tracks, as you can see by this store.
The asshole in you will always say, no, it has nothing to do with the cool factor, but yeah, there's owning more music than anybody else has always been a cool factor. And in my brain, the shit you don't want is always cooler. So when I was buying records and I had a massive record collection, and people thought it was the most uncool thing in the world, that's the asshole punk in me coming out and saying, no, it's fucking cool, man. You just don't get it.
Well, have you collected pretty much everything throughout your life?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I like that you use every inch.
Well, it's so tiny, I have to. I have no choice.
It's cozy in here. I like it.
I watch hoarders, and I feel like I'm like a few steps away from being a hoarder. I can't explain the collecting thing. I can't explain it. I know I collect whatever I find goofy and funny and weird. I want it.
You know, towards my late teens, I guess my parents just accepted it. This is what he does. He's got stacks and stacks of music, and my friends always knew, if you need a mixtape, give the blank tape to Ant, tell him what songs you want, because he's got it. And I did.
My brother had super duper long hair, so when Anthony started growing his hair, I kind of couldn't say much because I knew it was part of the time, and I figured, you know, he'll change as he gets older, and he hasn't. From day one, he's always known what he's like. He might not have a million friends, but the friends that he has would do anything for him, and he would do anything for them. He's dependable, he's loyal, he's faithful.
I always had these things and these emotions and thoughts that came through me, and it always came out in the sense of a pen and paper and words. I never pictured myself playing or doing anything with it. And then, you know, friends had bands, and I would think, well, that's cool. And then one day, my sister was a guitar player. She was taking lessons, and the guitar was sitting in her room. And I said, fuck it, I'm taking it.
I didn't love it. And then he took the guitar, and then that was it. He went running with it, and I never picked it up again.
I didn't do it for any other reason than that guitar said to me that day, hey man, let's be friends. When whatever started coming through me as a musician or as a writer or anything I did creatively, they fucking hated that more. I was wasting my time, because we still lived in the 90s when if you were creative, you weren't going to succeed, you weren't going to have anything, you were just going to waste your life. You might as well be a garbage man, who made great fucking money, by the way, then as they do now.
I understood it, but I also was concerned that, you know, there were other things he could be doing with his music, but I let him go, and it became his biggest passion in life, music.
Every year for Christmas, our relatives used to get us gift cards, and he couldn't wait to go spend the gift cards in the record store. And like the day after Christmas, that's where we were.
Anytime I would drive by a strip mall or an old building, I would always picture it being a record store. And anywhere I drove, I would hope to find a record store, just because I liked it that much. I wanted it. I wanted to consume as much music as I can.
I always wanted a record shop. Always wanted a record shop since I was a little kid. I decided to try to do it myself. I had an apartment over a 2-car garage, so I was converting the bottom of the garage into a store. 2 doors down, one of the stores had a for rent sign in the window. I said, hell, what the hell am I doing this for? I go talk to him. My business partner, Michael, was a waiter. Friday night or Saturday night, we'd go out and party, whatever. And that's how we met and got to know each other. When I wanted to start my business, I needed some money. I asked my father for it, and he says, what, are you kidding? He says, put peanut butter between 2 records and see how far you get. And I resented him from that day on. Then he would try to join in the glory when we were successful. And I wanted to say, you know. And then I had to approach Michael and say, Michael, you want to join in and do this thing? And he said, sure. So we opened up Sound Exchange.
Sound Exchange was it was unique. You couldn't get everything here. You know, if I wanted the Billy Ocean CD, I couldn't get that here. I had to go to Vintage Vinyl or a bigger chain store, which would have been the Whiz back then, to get a Billy Ocean CD. But if you wanted all the great metal, punk rock, and hardcore stuff, you came to Sound Exchange. Because niche, however you say that word, that's what Sound Exchange was. So being a punk rock kid, I knew that I can come here and get anything I wanted from any band I wanted or just discovered in that particular group.
You know where Mr. Mux is? About a mile north of where we are. And I got real friendly with the girl. And she gave me the names of all her distributors. I felt a little cheesy, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I had about 3,000 albums. They went in the store. And we ordered all new stuff, mixed it in. And it was a tiny little store too, it wasn't very big. We actually did very well.
Yeah?
We really did.
I've been coming here my whole life. I literally either walked, biked, skateboarded, or ran here on every weekend. My buddies and I, we would come up here. This is where we got our taste for every kind of music that we could get our hands on.
I started shopping at Sound Exchange when I was 14 years old in like 1985. My first purchase here was the Rocky Horror Picture Show picture disc, which was $35 in 1985, so it was really a lot of money for me as a kid.
So for me, I guess I started coming in the late 90s, as soon as I got my driver's license. The late 1900s, thanks.
What I thought of it the first time I walked in was, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff in this store and you cannot manage to get through it. Anthony would say to look at his biggest thing when we went to go look at records, he's like, just look at covers that look funky.
I used to walk into Sound Exchange all the time, and the way that the records were lined up, they were just on the floor, people would kick them, and I would look at the kicked, bent covers, and I would just buy it, because I felt bad. And there's something in there that meant something to somebody when they put it out, when they made it, and I want to experience that, even if I didn't like the music. So those are records that I might never get rid of, because the covers are destroyed from just the way that the store was set up. But it's what's contained inside that means everything to me.
I mean, it was a great selection. I'm not like taking that away. It was just so much stuff was packed into such small little spots.
I always preferred smaller shops like this one versus like, back then, Sam Goody's and FYE, all those places. And they were cool, and they had a lot of cool stuff, but I always just gravitated for smaller, the cramped. You never know what you find. You'd get like rare things or overseas versions of the same album that had a couple different edits or cuts on it, which was, for me, I thought was pretty cool.
A good friend of mine was king of bootlegs in Manhattan. Big money. I'd buy stuff from him, and everyone got really into the bootlegs. That's kind of what we were known for. They were different. Other people didn't have them. Some of them were really good. So it was kind of fun.
I always love coming here because they have a great mix of styles and formats. So I just like coming and digging through like the rows of records.
For me, it's reliving my childhood. Coming into a store like Sound Exchange and seeing records that I had as a kid that God knows where they ended up, so they're now back in my collection.
I lived in the community back behind the store and spend hours in Sound Exchange. Being able to stand in the store and actually listen to some albums, look at the CDs was different than when you go to the other big box stores. I still shop for all my music here.
I think record store culture in my youth was like a cool place to go.
I used to go from store to store to store to store to store and buy whatever I could that interested me.
Name a type of culture you found in their shopping. So whether it looked like they just walked out of Hot Topic drenched in pale and black lipstick, and I'd see someone older, like my dad's age, looking for like, oh, look at this, The King and I. I'm like,
it's a lot like today where you would get the same people coming in. A lot of them were people that would be friendly, and you'd have large conversations about the music that was out, what was going on, what was popular, what concerts you were seeing.
It was great. You could get records for $4.99. Now it's $49.99.
I would go to record stores and just literally flip through the bins for like 2 hours. So I knew what every record cover looked like. So, there were bands I was familiar with just from the cover. I didn't know what they sounded like or anything.
Yeah, so we hung out, we met in record stores, we met a lot of people in record stores, which I see coming back now. Kids congregate here again. It's not that it's cool again. I think teenagers and adults are tired of being alone, and they want a thing they can share, and it seems like this might be a small inching into that happening again, and that's cool. But that's what our culture was when we were kids. Record stores were big. It's like worlds came together and everybody just liked music, and nobody was mad at anybody for it. It was fucking cool, man. So I'm glad I grew up when I did, and I got so much different shit just piling on me and pouring on me, and we're sponges in our youth. We take it all in and love it.
Everybody would talk about music, and you got to touch it, and it was back in the late 70s, early 80s, it was all vinyl.
My format of choice currently is vinyl.
Well, I'm a 90s child, so CDs.
So format of choice is definitely vinyl.
Either singles or EPs.
Vinyl. I'm an audiophile, so I was into vinyl back when it was popular.
I'm mostly vinyl, but I stream a lot, and I have a cassette collection, and I have a lot of CDs.
I grew up in the era of CDs, so I still, with some things, stay towards CDs. I can digitize them and then like have them on my phone.
There's like for example, a 12-inch of something that's extended, and it's not on like Apple Music or Spotify, and you just can't find it. So that's why you should choose the record option, or even a cassette option.
I prefer it over CDs just because I feel like it's more of that like raw, like real sound. I love collecting used specifically because I like knowing somebody owned this like before I did when it first came out, that it's still being passed along.
Well, I think like when people are really connected with vinyl as opposed to CD or other or digital, has a lot to do with both their personal experiences and I think what they value. If you have personal experiences listening to music on vinyl, and that's how you have special memories of consuming music that way, then I think it's sort of natural to feel like that's the best way to consume music.
There is a beauty to each format that has its own glow. So records are my format of choice. I know there's a difference. Scientifically, there's a difference. You have two pieces of something touching each other and sending out a vibration. What we don't realize is how beautiful our bodies are and that we pick up on these vibrations that we don't even realize are there. So when people say, oh, I feel it, you do. That's fucking real.
There's a whole vibe, a whole sound that you get a little in cassettes, but once we went to CDs, even though that was the big thing when I was a kid, there's something about vinyl, you just almost feel like you're sitting there listening to them live. It just has a different, almost like an emotional response to it. It's something I got introduced to by my father, and now as a father, I got to introduce it to my son.
And so if you're the type of person who values audio quality and you want to hear every part of the music, every part of the recording, then you might feel like the new technology doesn't respect that, right? Doesn't value that. And so you reach for an older technology that does, right? It's more, again, goes back to this idea of like self-continuity. Does this match, does this technology or this way of consuming music match with my values?
Even a shitty mastered, shitty pressed record, there's a difference between that and the CD. CD of course, over streaming anything, anytime, if you can. Because you put on a CD, stream a song, and then put on the CD. Wow. Worlds of difference.
I just like how it sounds. It just sounds better in the car than Bluetooth or, you know, like just on the road, car speakers just feel better than any other form of media, I guess.
The vinyl sounds better. CDs are much more convenient. I'm sorry. I go for the convenience. You know, I mean, I love the vinyl, but it's just a pain in the ass.
Basically stopped buying vinyl in deference to CDs, thinking they would sound better. But then a friend of mine played some vinyl for me, new vinyl. I was blown away by the quality of the sound. We played the CD next to the vinyl, and I went out the next day and bought a new turntable.
You know, none of my friends owned records, but I did.
Early to mid 2000s, everything went digital. It was very throwaway. You sort of had it and then you consumed it and you never consumed it again.
No, I just added to it. It made it easier, but I still very much, you know, even though I had an iPod, I still would rather burn the CD.
I didn't really understand the whole thing. I still stayed with CDs and cassettes.
Not having those physical items with the music changed how much I enjoyed the music to some extent and how much I would focus on the music when I was listening to it.
Some of the things that, from my perspective and my experience, that could have affected the decline. When I was a kid, a teenager, you could go to the Wiz, there were Wizzes all around. If you got the record on release day, it was cheap. After the week of release, it was $17.98. That's what a new CD costs now. And then it got to the point where you weren't even worried about release day. You're just thinking, I'm not gonna buy this because it's 18 bucks. I'm not paying 18 bucks for a CD. When streaming started, it was just easy. You got the music, it was fair priced. And when that started happening and there was a decline in sales of physical media, shop owners started jacking the prices up. List price was $11.98, and you go and it's $15.98. Come on, man. And then you get assholes like me who were buying vinyl, and instead of spending 16 bucks on the Ramones CD, I got it for $8.98.
I think we're in a time period of like fast consumption, and sometimes quality gets exchanged for, you know, for being fast and available.
MP3s kind of muted music for me for a long time because you could listen to them with one headphone in your head.
But my daughter, who's 16, she listens to Spotify, and she has picked up so many other artists just from it, like going and it just broadened her spectrum of music for her. So I feel like it helps there with Spotify, but I feel like it does. Some people just have the things in their ears all the time and they don't want to get anything because it's cheaper to download a song.
My friend Mitch wanted me to go to a Monster Magnet show with him, and I wasn't a Monster Magnet fan. I didn't give two shits. I guess I was in my 20s, late 20s, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stream this. So I listened to him. I went, wow, these guys are great. I came to Sound Exchange and I bought every Monster Magnet CD he had in stock. The first time I stream music, I came in and bought that shit. So sometimes also streaming music has a positive effect, which is why record stores are coming back now.
I think it kind of plays hand in hand in a way where it's like I've discovered so much from Spotify that I never would have known about if it wasn't like on my Discover Weekly, but also that doesn't like mean I don't want to hold the song in my hands.
Yeah, the more the merrier, absolutely. They know more than the older generation. We had to read the Encyclopedia Britannica. Yeah. They have the world at their fingertips, you know, and they're learning from their parents. It's getting passed down.
I discovered this one band, Death in June, through Spotify. They didn't have many listeners. And when I first came in here, I found multiple CDs of theirs in here, and I would have never found that at like Walmart or Target. So just having like an actual place with like cooler stuff, harder to find stuff instead of just the mainstream stuff is also just really nice.
I wouldn't know an MP3 if it came in here and hit me in the head. There's some of the technology out there I just can't relate. I don't know. I don't know if I was a kid, I'd want to take it apart and put it back together. Now, no, I don't want anything to do with it.
I find coming to places like this now much more like a cathartic experience to me because it's just a release and just going back to, I felt more passion towards now than now in the MP3 era.
Having like a physical media is just so much cooler. I feel like my generation kind of like helped bring it back because they kind of like the vintage idea too behind it.
New, it's fresh, it's exciting.
For them, everything's digital. This is the way you're supposed to have it. Well, I don't want it the way you're telling me I have to have it. I want it this other way.
What is it? Technology. Yes, technology has introduced these new things, and sometimes when technology introduces new things, we all want to touch it. You know, we all wanted an iPhone, we all wanted an iPad, we all wanted a laptop, we all wanted a personal computer. Now we all have those things, and there's things that they don't have, and that might be the small things like a record or a CD, and all of a sudden it's on these little devices that we all have now, and you're like, I want that thing that's on the device, so they can go out and get it.
My children know, you know, music sounds the best on these big pieces of plastic.
And I started wanting to like recollect what I used to have, and then it kind of turned into this whole thing where now I want every song I've ever loved, like a physical copy of it.
And like I see her now when she puts the album on, she has it all out on her bed and she's looking at the things, and it kind of brought me back a little bit.
I guess maybe it just feels more authentic in a way. You know, streaming songs on your phone, it doesn't have the same power as, you know, cracking open a new CD. And
people our age are like used to everything being uploaded on the internet, but it feels different to actually like hold the music you own and actually have to do the work and go out there and find things you want to hear.
Psychologists use a term called self-continuity, feeling that you're a consistent person across time. It reassures us that the person we were in the past is still the person that we are today. There's something that's sort of like connecting us across time. But self-continuity could also feel like who you are, what you think is important, your values are consistent with the sort of overall culture around you, right? Younger people are drawn towards, you know, older things that weren't part of their personal past because maybe they feel like my likes, my interests, my values aren't consistent with the current popular culture.
I think it's cool because it's something now that generationally we have in common. And for him to get into records and music the way he has, I mean, it is fascinated by vinyl and music. So I think music is the great equalizer between all the generations.
I started listening to a lot more classic rock because of it, and now I can connect with my parents on levels that I haven't been able to before. My grandma, she had a tumor, right? Passed away years ago. I never really got to know her. But one day I was cleaning out my garage and I found a bunch of her old CDs. You know, my car's old as hell, so I started playing it and it felt like a way I could connect with her. A friend of mine showed me this place, so now I've just come whenever I can just to get new CDs, expand on my taste, so I have my own legacy to pass on to the future.
It was also pretty cool. She was looking for a couple new albums. She had a couple in mind. And we looked at some of the used. They have a bin of like used bins. They're like 98 cents for a whole album. And one of the records that we found, I got a little choked up. Her mom, my wife, passed away probably about 4 years ago. And she listened to every morning the song Beautiful by Carole King. And we found that album right away. And then finding that for 98 cents, just to, you know, who knows whenever it'll pop on in here. So that was kind of in a weird way, the magic of the store.
Working here, I can see all ages come in and buy vinyl, mostly college kids, as you said, their parents. It is good to see that the young kids today, for the most part, are getting back into vinyl. Even any physical media is great to see.
Music now is different. I was watching some awards show the other night and I was like thinking, this is like Latin to me. I'm so out of touch. I've only been out of there 3 years.
I think it's great that, you know, kids are like embracing the physical format again, but I don't know if they're really like playing those records or if they're still streaming them and the record is just like a souvenir. I hear a lot of kids saying like, I want to put it on my wall or I want to frame it.
But the vinyl was never as big as it is now. It's huge now. There were these reissues and stuff and the live things that are coming out. Rolling Stones have like 5 live albums out in the last few weeks.
So a good word that you had said, commodity. Things have become a commodity and that sucks. Prices are outrageous and it's not okay.
It just amazes me. Little kid that you think doesn't have a penny to his name will walk in, put 3 records down and pull out 60, 70 bucks. Like, damn.
I think companies take advantage of nostalgia because they've realized that nostalgia isn't just like being stuck in the past. There's sort of a motivational aspect of nostalgia. Nostalgia inspires us. It makes us want to go out and experience things, not just stay at home and, you know, watch old movies and listen to old music.
Now you get a record that's 1998, 24.98, 27.98, 28.98, 32.98, 36.98, 37.98, 39.98, $50 for a record. You're making more and more money, but they're not realizing that. They're just thinking, we'll get them in on the one and we'll bang them on it. This is what hurts me in this business, is seeing that. I'm gonna spend $50 on the t-shirt at the show. Cool. What if it was 25? I'd buy 2 t-shirts. Now I can only buy 1. Imagine you sold 2 t-shirts to every kid at a show, to every person at a show. You're gonna make more money. You're an asshole. It's shitty, but it's the way of the world. What are we gonna do? But it's very disheartening in the business to have that. But what has made it different with the kids that really wanna have something or hold something is that Taylor Swift. Another Taylor Swift example is that Long Pond session that came out on Record Store Day. We got 40, 20 were damaged. I was gonna return them. Just the covers were damaged. When I mentioned it to some kids, hey, when we ran out, and I said, I'll take $5 off if you want it that bad, but the cover's damaged. None of them cared. They just wanted what was in there. They wanted the music that was on that disc. The younger generation, the youth, whatever word fits, want to experience that, and that's cool. Fuck the cover. It's there. The cover is only going to protect what's laying inside. It's like a scar on the body. It's okay. Sometimes scars are cool.
Anthony was a customer. He'd come in and get down on his knees and thumb through right in front of the counter, and we'd yak. And he was a good customer, actually. He came in like once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Art was just tired and done. Art's been doing it for 45 years, since 79. He knew that he spent his whole life building this and making this work, and he wanted that to move forward. I wasn't in it to taint what it is we do. Stephanie and I were gonna buy a bar. That fell through. And I walked into Sound Exchange one day and I said, hey Art, what's up? And he was at his wit's end. It was the end of the road for him. Just wanted out, wanted to retire, wanted to enjoy some life.
I figured if I was gonna close the place, I have to sell it off for 50% off anyway. So I'd rather have him get it, build it, and keep it alive.
I think his exact words were, fuck this place, I'm done.
Was that pretty much your words?
Pretty much.
Yeah?
Pretty much. I was really burned out. I was just burned out and done. Stick a fork in me.
I said, okay. And we shook hands that day. And it was a done deal.
I mean, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Hey, I don't know as much about music as you do, but I do know how to run a business.
You know, listening to Anthony, how they jumped through hoops, him and Steph, to be able to make this purchase. And, you know, I thought, wow, you know, he really wants to do this. It's fitting for him. And I was very proud of him. I mean, we discussed how, like, what they did in their lives to be able to get this money together and make this purchase. And then I worried, you know, like, is it going to be a lucrative business?
I really wasn't worried because Anthony, growing up, he could turn a nickel into a $20 bill. He knew how to make money. He knew how to make things happen. You can't tell Anthony you can't do that because he's gonna make it happen.
Oh, I was thrilled because I didn't want to close. I put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off. And finally, God sent me an angel. He was extremely easy to get along with and to do it. I think he's probably making more money than I made.
When we bought the store, coming in, we knew we had to tidy it up, get the records off the floor, make it a little bit neater, maybe dust.
We used to have the CDs in these plastic cases that were like this big to stack them, and it was easier to like have the CDs there, and it was for theft. So my biggest thing was, I was like, we have to get the records off the floor, and we have to get the CDs out of those cases. I said, because it's just, it'll clean up the store, it'll open up the store. And then we need to make sure that we're hiring people that are having conversations with the customers, that are, you know, getting to know what they like, what they and Anthony, I mean, as soon as people walk in, he's like, what are you looking for? And he's got a music encyclopedia brain.
Well, it amazes me now with Anthony knowing what's in print, what's out of print, what issue it is. Is it the first pressing? Is it the third pressing? I didn't really care about any of that. I just wasn't, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but.
Does it sound good? That's pretty much it?
Pretty much.
You know, that's what I wanted. I wanted people in here that were nice and smiling and helpful, and I wanted it to be a place where people can come and hang out and feel comfortable, and it doesn't matter who you are.
We wanted to have a better selection, a thicker, deeper selection, because anywhere you went, you weren't getting a bigger catalog selection of most artists than you would here, but we wanted more artists with the same thing, newer artists. Taylor Swift wasn't here, we needed Taylor Swift. You know, Olivia Rodrigo wasn't here, we needed Olivia Rodrigo. Things like that. The pop music of today that kids want and they're going out and buying again, I think a store should have that for them, and that was part of our goal.
Anthony has a much bigger stock in there, I think he does. Stuff that I would never think of trying. Never in my life would I try some stuff.
And I have a nephew who's 27, I have a daughter who's 16. They let me know what's up and coming. So my aunt, we gotta order this, you know, we gotta order this. Or my nephew would say, hey, can you get me this record? And I'd be like, who is Tinashe? I don't know who that is. And then Anthony does all the videos for Instagram, and you know, we promote that way. We don't really have that big of an online presence except for the videos on YouTube and Anthony promoting, but people walk in here all the time and they're like, oh, I saw you here.
Filming with Brendan, how has that helped?
People come in from all over the country now, sometimes the world, because they watch his videos and I've always wanted to go to the US, so they come to the US to go to New York City. But part of that, or maybe the impetus to get them off the couch to finally make that journey, was because I'm gonna go to that record store too.
When I walked in here, the place blew my mind. And just coming in and I saw this, and sort of my eyes didn't even pass this point, and already my mind was blown with how many CDs were in this store. It instantly became my favorite store. So it gave me a home to go to. I hadn't had a place like this to go to since probably the late 90s. It just became that sanctuary that I haven't had, that place I could go to a record store and find my kind of music. 2020 rolls around with the pandemic. For a lot of people, they were stuck inside, didn't know what to do. I had this new passion I was working on. But there were some people, you know, they're alone, they're depressed, they can't get out, they can't do things. And people have told me that like the channel, the videos got them through that. Being able to watch a new video from my channel every day.
It's entertainment.
Was entertainment for them, gave them something to do, got them through it, you know. You're dropping names of bands out there and cool things that really get you hyped up. I'm doing the same. People are going out and exploring it. To me, that is the best aspect of what we could hope for from these videos. And I've seen that just skyrocket and boom.
Which is another reason why I continue to do it.
Yeah, right.
Not for me. I think about it.
Yeah. No,
I knew I had to wake up and do a video this morning, and all I could think of was.
Well, anytime you want to stop, man, we'll stop. Because that's the last thing I want. I want you.
I mean, we all these
want
people.
you to enjoy it.
I enjoy the connection.
I think you secretly like a little bit. You like shooting the shit.
You know, I love the old school way that we do stuff. My strategy to just be on top of the inventory a little bit better in a way that it's in a system. It's a systemized. We have systems in place, but it's not just like digitally systemized.
We pray for collections like any other record store does. And there are record stores popping up more abundantly now. So those collections and the praying is a little more and a little thicker now because there's so many more options for you to sell your shit to people. Inventory is a bitch because you want to have it and you want to have diversity and you want to have abundance, and abundance is unaffordable in this line of work now. Stay up to date, not just with new stuff, but with the old stuff that now is new to a new generation. So that's another term of being up to date, which also goes back to the inventory thing. I can't look outside of myself. All I can say is I have to just keep doing what I'm doing. My gut tells me it's right. I'm on the right path. And thank goodness there's a relevance to what I'm doing. We're filling holes in our lives. Sometimes that hole is to be one of the crowd. Sometimes that hole is loneliness. Whether it's movies, music, food, shoes, t-shirts, pants, jewelry, makeup. We all have holes we need to fill. Each thing, each record brings me back to the time when I bought it, why I bought it, where I was when I bought it, and sometimes it's just really nice to relive that. You don't even know you need to relive the moment until you have it, and it makes you relive the moment, and now subconsciously you're buying to relive those moments. Or, fuck man, maybe it's just as simple as, it's just what I like.
It's strange, everything seems to be cyclical. Things go away and come back, like vinyl, and CDs kind of dipped, but now they're coming back.
Independent record stores like this one and others, are continuing to thrive, and they've sort of weathered that storm because there is still a market for people who want a physical record or a physical CD.
Nobody thought it was ever going to come back, vinyl. It's come back big. It's obviously not going to last forever, but I hope it lasts as long as I can still hear music.
Think about in life when you get asked any question and how you doing, what's going on? Does anybody ask you if you're happy?
Rarely.
No, this makes me happy. Music makes me happy. Shoes make that guy happy. Movies make you happy. Seeing a smile on somebody's face might be one of the greatest things in the world that we don't pay enough attention to. You walk into a store now and you see 3 generations and they're all just stoked that each one is there. They're all happy each other's there. Fuck, it's cool. I never said that out loud. That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
I'm watching generations rediscover something.
I never thought I would own anything in my life. Like my parents never owned anything but cars. So having this, it's like, when the first kid in the family goes to college, it's like a plus.
A mom and pop kind of store that is bringing music to a whole community for over 50 years, I think. And we get to have it here. I consider us very lucky to have this store here, especially since I've been able to come here. My father came here, my son now comes here. And my son already said, now when I get old enough, I'll bring my kids here. So now we have a reason to make sure it stays here.
I think the store looks great. I think he's stocking all the right stuff.
We have people coming back here basically every day that have been shopping here since it first opened, coming in telling us, oh my God, I've been coming here since I was a kid, or I used to come here in college.
I see guys in their 70s buying records again, rediscovering Dan Fogelberg or Buddy Rich that comes in here, stuff like that. You know, it's amazing to watch him come in, and his wife buys him a record player one year. He goes out and buys a record player, and then, you know, like, you got to see them come in here. It's awesome, and you know, that's one age group. And then you talk about the guys my age. The guys my age, a lot of them were streaming. You know, they gave up what I didn't give up.
For me, it was like the last of the independents kind of thing. I mean, other stores have kind of opened in the wake of Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange has been here for decades, you know, but there are newer stores that I go to as well. You know, it's not unusual to walk in, ask for something obscure, and somebody knows about it in the store, or they're at least curious about it enough to bring it into the store, whereas I feel like a major chain wouldn't do that.
The people that work here and the people that run the store, they're just perfect people that you'd want to come and talk about music to.
I love working here. I come here and I get to talk with people. They come in and we talk about rock and roll, prog. We talk about the new David Gilmour album. It can go on for an hour, 2 hours just sitting here. It's actually the best job in the world to work in a record store.
It's kind of a legacy. It started out as Dirt Cheap, then it was Looney Tunes, now it's Sound Exchange, and it's been almost, what, 50 years? Any other record stores around been there that long?
Not that I can think of.
I don't think so.
To work at Sound Exchange is one of my dreams to.
Just having something to call our own and just being able to provide the music for the community, and where, again, like, everybody's welcome, and you know, nobody judges anybody here except if you're a jerk. I do. I love coming into the store. It's a good vibe.
Now my parents are supportive. 20 years later, they still had their reservations. How are you gonna make money? It's a dead business, but that wasn't negativity. That was just fear of saying, are you going to be doing the right thing?
To see him make a career out of it and to make a lucrative career out of it, we're very proud of him. Him and Steph have done a remarkable job. That he kept something alive, a dying thing. And it's not just the record store, it's music, it's his passion about it. And he's grown into a young man that I can be extremely proud of, and we are. We are.
I never in a million years thought that he'd be all around as good as he is with this. Like I said, the music, that's one aspect, but the business end, he's really, really good at it.
It's exactly what I expected. I thought there'd be more vinyl, but I mean, I understand why the CDs and the cassettes, and I could see that coming back also. It's great. I think he did a great job with it. I'm proud of him. Proud of him.
That when you see a kid running that store and they're excited, and you're thinking, man, they're excited about something that excited me. They're just excited. I just want to add to that excitement. How can I make sure that this kid never loses that enthusiasm and excitement for life and whatever is adding to their life right now? That's why I do anything I do in life. And I'm grateful to do it with music. It's my privilege. Music, you know, did everything. You know, how many people, music saved my life, it changed my life, 100%. Yep, and it does it fucking regularly. It doesn't change. When I'm having a bad day or a great day, music continues to inspire me to exist. So that's what this means to me. I want something to continue to inspire other people to exist. And if I have a small part in that, not me personally, because I don't give a fuck who's here behind the counter, as long as this place is here and giving that, then, you know, I have a feeling of a little piece of being complete in life.
Very well said.
Is that all my questions?
That's it.
If the day runs out of time for all that you want to do, and it's lonely at the bottom and you couldn't make it through, never set a limit on what you love and let go of whatever was. Showing signs of a life lived sometimes ain't enough. So we convince ourselves that nothing will be alright. And we sink further into the night. If no one's there, no one tells. I need the world to be still, and the limits we set become our last light.